Hello again, everybody. This is Mr. Everything, and I am coming back at you with another Wargaming in Miniature video. In today's video, what I'm going to do is continue on with our 15mm World War II Lafayette Bridge project update. I've got a lot to put out today. What I would like to do today is go over everything so far, basically from start to finish. So this video might take a minute, but I think it will get everyone caught up and let you exactly know where my thought processes are and things like that. I'm in my mind, I'm about 85 to 90% finished and ready to go. There's only a couple more things I need to do on the map, and then it's pretty much just working on the scenario itself and the write-up, and printing out handouts and stuff like that. And that's can all be done in just less than a week or whatever. And this campaign, or I should say this scenario, is going to be ran at NashCon this year. So come down if you want to play, check it out. All right, so let's start off by saying it was fun making these boards, but again, they're not finished. They're not complete. I still have a little bit of work to do on these boards. The boards are probably the biggest amount of work, or the longest time amount of work that I still have left. Okay, so as you can see, I've flocked the riverbanks. I still want to go in and put either some tufts in here or some clump foliage in there, just to give it a little bit more life, because this scatter flock that I put down is kind of, I mean, it's multicolored, but it's still kind of dry. It doesn't give me life like I want. I use the same flock around the mountain. I call it mountain, but hills, the hill or the slope base, to help disguise where the paper and the styrofoam meet. I've also, as you can see, this one's kind of randomized, but this is a static grass, and I got a pretty good coverage on that. I also went in and laid out all my bocage, and I put a little bit of this light dirt near the gaps in the bocage. So let me just go through these tiles one at a time. Now this is wax paper that I covered over the tiles to prevent them from sticking together when any of my glue was drying, specifically the riverbanks and the hill slopes, because the hill slopes I went all the way up to the top to where the edge of the paper was. Now on this causeway, you can see this is a main thoroughfare. This is a main highway. I have also put some of that same flock down along the road. It won't be that important because, or I should say, it won't be that pronounced, because I'm going to be putting hedges on top of that using my hedge method, and both sides have been flocked. All right. Okay, give me a second. I'm doing this live. I'm not doing a whole lot of editing, or I don't plan to do a whole lot of editing. I just want to knock this out, let you guys see it. The figures and everything. Well, I'm not going to pull all the figures out because you've already seen my Grenadiers and my 82nd guys. So I'm not going to really pull all those out and let you look at them. But you've seen that I've done all the 82nd gliders, and I've done all the 82nd paratroopers that I need. I actually did a second paratrooper platoon. So basically I've got a full company of both. And I've got a company of Grenadiers. And I've got a company of Grenadiers in Plastic Soldier. I don't know. I've been holding on to my Plastic Soldier Grenadiers because of future battles where I might need more Grenadiers. But I think because their scale is almost exactly the same. But the Plastic Soldier American scale was just a little bit off. So I've actually put those up on eBay. Those are for sale if you're interested in those. Okay, you can see that there's probably going to be a gap in my bocage or hedges there because I put a little bit of light work there. I put a little light work here. I put a little bit of the dark brown onto the main highway. Yeah, my next project is probably going to be Pegasus Bridge. I'm going to have a lot of fun doing that. Okay, so just taking a look here. Let's go ahead and do 2 sheets at once. Just because of the size. I think I've already gone through my little pieces. Okay, same thing here. We got roadways or dirt paths because I think I'm going to be putting a building right there. And this is the driveway parkway kind of deal. I got the hedges. I got the flock along the slope. And you can see that it's not 100% coverage, right? That's the idea. It's this is the way I flock my figures as well. I put the dirt down, and then I do like a 50% flock just to give it a little bit of, who's a what's it's. Now, I still want, like I said, I still want to put some, especially at the bottom, I want to put some clump foliage or tufts around there. I don't want to put anything on the top shelf because I want to be able to put these boards in a box. But if I put something down on the low ground, it's not going to, as long as it's not taller than this, it's not going to interfere with me putting it in a box. And I've got these 2 foot by 2 foot boxes that the original foam came in. So I'm just going to put them back in those boxes. I've been saving those boxes. And here's the bridge. You can see I did a lot of grass work here and here. And I put a layer of grass on the top up here for the parkway. And yeah, this looks super. I'm enjoying it. But as you can see, this is one of the built up sections that I need to work on, and that is part of that final effort. So as I do the built up areas, then we'll talk about the built up areas as we go. Okay, now this is the start of Kikigni. This little section here needs to be flocked with some kind of gardening material or just grass of some kind. I could probably get some paper and glue like a little strip in there, but I don't want to do that. I want to just go ahead and flock this up and then make sure the road is in the actual right spot. These buildings, I need a one-story building down the road, down this road near the slope. So I think what I'm going to do is take this one-story building and move it down the road and replace this building with a two-story building. Just making the town look more built up, if that makes sense. Plus the church is going right here. But yeah, this looks good. There's a little corner there of the back side of the built up area. And I went ahead and did a little bit of dirt work here because paths, you know. I probably could have put some dirt on this. But again, it's not going to be necessary because I got hedges and bocage that go on top of things like that. Now I'm going to leave a couple of these on the table and then work off of the boards themselves, showing you the rest of the project. Yeah, you've seen these already being put together, you know, like this doesn't go together with this piece. That they don't fit together. But this is the backside of Kokigny. There's a building there. There's going to be a hedge or a bocage actually that goes right there. There's the entry into the orchard. There's another entry into the orchard over here. Yeah. And then, oh yeah, there's two pieces right there that are basically just the low ground on each side of the causeway. There's one there. And one there. On this piece of grass, there's going to be hedges, but there's going to be a gap in the hedge here, and this looks like a little walkway through there. I didn't grass this side and then grass this side. I just grassed the whole thing, and I just went back in with the AK Dark Earth and just put it on there. Okay, so all right, we can work with these because these are all on the same level. This works for me. I'm just tightening everything up just to. There we go. Okay, casualties, right? So on my multi-bases. Okay, I don't know if you can really see that. Remember, this is not edited. This is all live. I don't plan to edit any of this. I'm just going to upload it straight up. Okay. Well, you've seen my multi-bases where I've got figures mounted, just like Flames of War, right? Got figures mounted. But because Battle Group is a man-to-man game, and you have the potential to lose one man out of your squad, or 2 men, or 3 men, and you could actually be running around with one single figure. What I think I want to do, because I've got still quite a bit of time left, I think what I want to do is take some individual American or German, just individual figures, and mount them so that if 3 get killed and there's only 1 guy left, I'll just hand them the single figure so it'll be just like moving either one of these or one figure. So it won't, speed the game up or slow it down, it'll just make it less cluttered, because then there won't be a multi-base with like 3 casualties on it. Now, how are we going to mark those casualties? Well, I had a little bit of nostalgia and thought that I would use old casualty caps that I used when I played 15mm Napoleonics, right? We would just put casualty caps on top of a guy and he would be dead. I feel like with the amount of moving that this is going to do on the battlefield, and players are going to constantly be dropping the casualty caps or putting them on the wrong people, or because of the way they're holding their rifles, like this guy's got his Thompson held high, then they might not stay on. So my nostalgia went back to another way I used to do casualties, and that's with the ring system, right? So I can actually drop one of these rings over a guy, and he's pretty much, you know, marked forever. This is not going to fall off or do any kind of slipperyage. And then I can just put that over the rifle, drop it down. It's pretty obvious that this stand has lost 2 guys. If I wanted to slide this over this guy, okay, that's just over his head. If I could do a little magic, go under his rifle and over his head, this one won't allow that. Okay, that pose won't allow that. But if I put it right there, obviously he's dead. If I move this around in various ways, those rings are not going to come off. That is the way I'm going to mark casualties. Right, not like that. Okay, so the ring system is the way it's going. All right. I don't think I showed these off, so I'm going to show them off super quick. I got 3 Jeeps that I made. I'm still trying to work out in my mind whether or not... Okay, because the FO, the American FOs, and also Kuba wagons for the German FOs are supposed to have Jeeps, but the scenario doesn't say they're supposed to have Jeeps. So I don't know if I should just allow them to have Jeeps or not to allow them to have Jeeps. This is a recon Jeep that I made with a 50 cal machine gun. It is not in the battle, but I was on a roll, so I just went ahead and made it. Both of these have guys with binoculars. Like, he's a guy in the back with binoculars. This guy's a guy in the front with binoculars. This has 2 figures. This has 3 figures. The FO should be 2 figures like this. And the FSU, which is like a forward, it's a communication support vehicle. It doesn't actually do, like, it doesn't call for fire or anything. It allows for your communication. It gives you benefits on your communications roles. And I went ahead and scratch built like a little radio to put in there. I don't know if I'm going to use those in the battle. I want to, just because it gives more variety on the table, but I don't know if that's going to be a benefit or a detriment. That might come out in playtesting. Okay, now as you know, we've already... Okay, yep, let's do this. As you know, we've already built the craters, but I just got these in yesterday. All I've done is wash them. I've also filmed a video that I don't know if it's gone up or not, what's in the box, just to let you know everything that's in the box. These gun pits will fit a medium base, and then these entrenchments will fit medium bases. The scenario calls for 10 men on both sides to be in their entrenchments, but also the 2 German mortars are in gun pits. So I got a number of these, various patterns and styles, all from ww2. You can see they haven't been primed or painted or anything. This is something I plan to do tomorrow on my Wargaming Wednesday video. While I'm sitting there talking to you guys about my project and stuff like that, we'll be sitting there painting these guys up. All right, so if you're a medium-sized base and you fit inside those, most of my medium-sized bases have 3 or 4 guys on them, right? Mostly 4. So a player can grab a couple of these, and that'll be 8 guys, or maybe 7, and then maybe a third one for his command element, right? Or he can even grab a smaller one for the smaller bases, because I have 3 of those. Oh no, I have 4. So if they want to put their bazooka team or something like that in one, they could do it, because this will hold a 2 or a 3-man base if it's small, like your FO or whatever. And then these will hold those 3 or 4-man base. So like your light machine guns or your rifle squads or whatever would go in these. So this is more than I'm going to need, because both sides, all they need is 10. I just thought I would get a bunch. And then this pack came with 3, even though I only need 2 for the Germans in this scenario. But maybe in a future scenario like Market Garden or the Battle of the Bulge, I might need more entrenchments, so I did get those. I also received, as a special gift, some little supply points. You know, you're looking at barrels and boxes and stuff like that. I'm going to paint these up and just put them on the table. I'll put a couple of them in the Germantown. I'll put a couple of them in the American farm. So that should be nice. Yeah, so I'll probably prime these sometime today, and then we'll paint them tomorrow during our Wargaming Wednesday. If you're interested in what these guys look like up close, check out my What's in the Box ww2 dug-in or sandbag entrenchments or whatever it's called. Okay, so that's that. Hedges and bocage. Okay. I was able to finish them. And when I say finish, I mean finish. I have all the hedges I need. You can see there is a beehole load of hedges in here. And I've done a variety of different patterns. Like I've got this light green flowery pattern. I've got a darker green foliage, or I should say blended turf. I even did a static grass one. This was more of an experiment. I did a micro scatter on this one. I did a larger scatter on this. It's more leafy, if you want to call it that. This one I think is considered the knock flowery blend, because it has, not only does it have like a flowery scatter, but it has static grass built into it as well. I think that is my favorite one. That, and believe it or not, just your base bone blended turf, I think, is also a very good one. Most of them are blended turf. I also did a few that might look a little more wild. I threw some clump foliage on these. Yeah, so there is a lot of hedges. I did some hedges with gaps in them because, you know, they'll go places like that where there might be a gap. Actually, this gap is just going to be 2 hedges, or like this hedge will come up to the gap, and then there will be other hedges, you know, going this way, and it'll look like there's a gap, or, you know, there's a path already pre-built with hedges. Now, how many of these have I done? I don't know. I think it's close to 100. I was planning on, and I have second thoughts on this because there's 100 of them, possibly. The second batch alone was like 50. So, yeah, there's probably 100. I was going to lay them all out and measure it and just see how many hedges I actually made. I'm probably going to do that just for my own personal curiosity. I'm going to do that off camera, and then maybe when I upload this video, maybe I'll tell you exactly how many feet I've done. These should be 6 inches, so 2 of these should be 1 foot of hedges, so it should be pretty easy to do the math. But there are a few other hedges out there that are shorter, and there's even a couple of them that are like super short, mainly just to fit into that little area that it might need to make to balance out the entire hedge wall. Okay, so that's my hedges, but I also finished all the bocage. Okay, bear with me. I'm gonna have to rethink how I'm packaging these. Okay, so these are the bocage that I had made originally, right? And I laid them out on the table to see how much of the table it would cover, and then I realized that I was lacking a few feet of bocage, and I went in and measured all that, and that's what I've got over here. I've got all the extra pieces of bocage. These are the ones I just finished, and it's the same thing. We've got a variety of different methods of making them, but mainly it's the popsicle stick, the foam, and then texturing and putting. I put some large clump foliages on this and some smaller clump foliage. I varied the colors. Right. On those, I actually have a few of them. I got some small ones as well, but there are some. Here we go. This one might be one. There are a couple of them that have a mostly flat side because I'm going to basically push it up directly against another bocage, and I figured, why not? Okay. Finally. Yeah, finally. Not finally. Okay. So I'm working on, and these are not finished. I was going to make some tree strips, or trees that are in strips. Not only am I going to use these, okay, hold on. I think it might be, It's not that one. Yep, it's this one. Not every section is just going to be random trees all over the place. I do have a ton of these individually mounted trees that I could just place on the battlefield in certain areas to make it a wooded area or whatever. That's not a problem. But specifically, this triangle section right here is supposed to be a... Okay, where am I at? On the... You can't really see that. Okay, cool. That might help. Yeah. This triangular section right here is supposed to be a orchard. And I took my remaining trees, my flowery trees, and I made some strips of trees. I still want to put some flock on these bases, but I was planning on putting them, you know, just in there. I'm not exactly sure how tight I can make it or should make it. But I was just going to lay them in there where it was very nice and orderly. And then if I needed to, okay, where are you at? Yeah, it looks like I'm going to need to. I'll take some of my extra trees and just lay them in there as individuals, you know, and I've got a bunch more of these that I could just put in something like that, you know, to make it look very orderly and make it look like an orchard. And then other areas that are supposed to be wooded, just throw in some random trees. But I probably have about 200 individually mounted trees. Maybe not 200, maybe 100 actually. I'm just exaggerating. But still, I've got a lot of trees. Mainly, I got those trees for my Napoleonic battles, for doing like Quatre Bras and doing the Bazoo woods, you know. But they're going to be able to be used everywhere. Okay, so these guys I still have to work on. Now, something special right here is my field strips. As you know, I was planning originally, which I went away from, but I was planning on making these field boards, texturing them and putting crops and stuff like that on there, and then taking the board and just laying it inside the hedged areas. And then I had shaped them specifically where they would fit when the board was only going to be a 6-foot board. But now that it is a 8-foot board and the fields grew just a little bit, and I decided I didn't want to do that. I still made these, and I still might put a field around them, because these will still be good on battlefields that I just lay a blanket out, and not specifically this battlefield. I can just lay the board out. So these aren't going to go to waste. They're just not going to be used in this battle. So I've gone a different route. And remember, this is low ground. This is, I could have put the well, not on this board, but I was going to say I could put it directly onto this board, but then this board wouldn't slide down into a box because this does not have a hill on it. And any board that doesn't have a hill, I still need it to be flat. So I have created some fields that, or I should say some plowed strips that I can plant when we go to the game. So imagine this being a plowed field, and I'm just going to randomize this and not concern myself with actually where they go. Okay, so imagine this being the field, and I need to plant some crops. I take these sticks, which technically are just popsicle sticks, but I went ahead and textured them and then put these tough strips on there, and I can just lay them down in nice rows, you know, and I can put a gap between them, as in maybe a farmer would have a path to drive his tractor, you know, through that gap up here and then up and down the different crops. Right? Something like that. And then I can spread that out or whatever, however I want to do. But there you go. I got some crops. And then I've got this, which I'm not too pleased about the color, but it does give me a variety of options. This is more flowery than I wanted. And then I could even go this direction or this direction. I could put gaps between them. I realized I could push them up side by side, and I made sure I did not flock the base of the crop, because I wanted it to be dirt, you know, like the crop is growing out of the dirt and it's not like full of grass. But I considered putting weeds and stuff in there as well. But yeah. So I only had one pack of this, which is 6mm, and I had 2 packs of this, which is a 4mm, and each pack will get me 10 strips, right? So I've got a bunch of these. Now I also got 2 packs of this, right, which is just a green strip. I thought about it and I said, you know what, I don't think I want to use these for crops. I think I'm gonna, because this is a kind of like on a terrible, okay, not terrible as in bad, but terrible as in I'm able to tear it. So it comes on a tearable plastic adhesive, and if I tore a piece like this big or whatever off, I could stick it on a figure base, and I could make bushes and stuff using that texture. And as you know, I also have these fence lines that I don't really have any use for them on this battle, but I got them for actually my American War of Independence and Napoleonic battles. Okay, so we got this and that. Oh, here's fence. Okay, so let's do like a quick recap in my head. We've got the boards are 90% finished. I just need to do the little bit of foliage around the hills and the rivers, and I need to do the towns. Okay, and then the boards will be done. Okay, again, you see how this is a main road. Like I said, it's going to have hedges along the sides of the road, and I can just put them right on top, or I could put them to the left, you know, of the because they sit nice and smooth, basically by filling in those gaps, by digging that ditch out and then filling it with flock. It kind of leveled it out, which is kind of what I was hoping for. And then okay, so I've got the buildings finished, I've got the maps finished except for the built up areas and the foliage around the hills and the river. I've got my hedges and bocages finished. I've got some crop fields. I could probably do a couple more because I still have a few more strips, just for variety on the table. I might not even do them. I might just leave them like this. Yeah, we got a serious rainstorm going on outside. Should be clear to day after tomorrow. Okay, so that's the map. I've sealed the edges with the Mod Podge and green. That should be good. Okay, my figures. I've got the Grenadiers are finished. I've got the Paratroopers are finished, and the Glider Troops are finished. I've got the Sherman tank. Oh, okay, Sherman tank. Okay, here we go. I'm glad I looked over and saw that. Okay, this is an M4A3 75. Beautiful tank. Love it. Can use it. Not a problem. But when I got that set in the starter set Hit the Beach, it comes with some M4A1s, and those have the rounded cast hulls, and because they have the cast hull, I think I want to use them instead. So that means I need to make, or at least I only need one tank. So I think I'm going to make a cast hull tank. All right, so okay, that's the troops. Okay, the R-35s, which is basically a German tank captured from the French. I've got 3 of those. I only need 2 because I'm going to use them as roadblocks. What else? The entrenchments I still need to work on. They'll be finished soon. Okay, so what does that spell out for me in the future? Well, that basically tells me that I'm ready to explore playtesting the scenario. Right? It's telling me that, like for those Jeeps or whatever, I can go in and I can try out different, Kuba wagons or Jeeps or whatever, deployment areas, weapon ranges, stuff like that. I can kind of play test it. I'd like to play it a couple of times. Even if I have to play it solitaire, I'd like to play it a couple of times just to work out any bugs, but also as a referee to learn the nuances of the scenario, so that when a player asks me a question at the convention and he says, what happens if I do this? Maybe I've already explored that in my playtests. And also, I might have a friend, I don't know, I haven't really asked him. He went a couple of years ago with me to help me run Bolt Action. And I think he enjoys miniature wargaming. So, I know he does. Because we played a variety of miniature war games together. I'm going to ask him if he would like to come to the convention with me or not. Help me run this game. Now, this is only going to be a one-session game. Would I be favorable to running this in multiple sessions? I thought about it, and I would be, but if I wanted to do that, I would play a second scenario. And I was initially planning on doing I was initially planning on doing a American War of Independence scenario for my second game, but I honestly don't think I'm going to have enough time to paint up two armies. I could be wrong, but I just don't think I will have the time. Okay, this doesn't look like it's going to fit properly in that direction. Styrofoam will break, etc., etc. So we'll put it this way. Now, the reason why I'm not stuffing these in boxes is because I still have a little bit of work to do on these. No, there wouldn't be enough room. All right, so I think that's it. Oh, yeah. Just as a final thought, I do have an order coming in. I placed an order for 82nd dice. So there's going to be actual dice with the 82nd logo on there. I think that's going to be a nice touch for the guys playing. And I already have 101st dice, but that wouldn't be appropriate. I'm going to bring them and have them available, but in the Germans, I've got some Fallschirmjäger dice, and I've just got some regular gray dice. Fallschirmjäger's not necessarily appropriate, but I just wanted them. I didn't see anything that showed like Grenadiers or anything, so just the regular gray dice should work for that. But I'm going to throw the Fallschirmjäger dice in there as well. Okay, so I think I am, or got you up to speed on everything. Didn't show you, but you know, we got this bridge finished. Okay, so that's one piece of it. I'm looking forward to finishing up these entrenchments. I'm gonna do that Wednesday on the Wargaming Wednesday, and I think I'm getting my dice in today actually, and I'll show those off probably as well on Wargaming Wednesday. So yeah, be sure to tune in to Wargaming Wednesday tomorrow and watch me finish up those entrenchments. I do want to make an announcement. First of all, thank you for coming to the end of the video. And I do want to make an announcement about my channel. I have started a new series called What's in the Box. It's widely successful. I appreciate everybody's support on What's in the Box. Basically, What's in the Box is basically just my love letter to wargamers. It's basically letting you know I understand the struggle of knowing what you're getting when you order something online, or or you never opened the box before, like you're at a store and you pick up a box and you look at it and you're like, what actually am I getting in this box? A lot of times the boxes don't exactly tell you, and I found that to be the case for myself. So knowing this, I figured that other people might be interested in learning what was in the box as well. Tanks. I'm planning on another project after this one. Again, like I said, the what battle is that? It's the I want to say base plate, but no, that's aircraft. It was coup de main out of one of the battles. I'm trying to remember. But the coup de main was the Pegasus Bridge scenario with a bunch of British in gliders coming in and trying to take two bridges that are fairly close together. You got a river bridge and then you've got a canal bridge. And Pegasus Bridge was actually over the canal. And then there's the Orne River Bridge, I believe. It's just a couple of miles away, maybe even less than a mile. I'm not exactly sure, but it is a scenario that I think I could play on another 8-foot table. I'm probably not going to do both bridges, but I'm still in the planning process of that campaign, or that project. Speaking of which, I got a ton of British. The British, I've already based them up. I didn't think I was going to need this many British. And I truly don't. I only need about half of these if I do one bridge. If I do both bridges, then I would need all of these. Because really only 3 of the gliders. This is 6 gliders worth of, or 6 platoons of the Ham and Jam 6th Air Landing Brigade from the 6th Airborne Division. Okay. Yeah, so I've got all those. Now, I was going to prime them and start painting on those and stuff, but I'm going to hold off on that, and mainly because I've got other commissions that I need to paint first. I've been neglecting my commissions by working on this project, but I wanted to make sure I got this project finished for the convention. But I do have some Napoleonic Russians on my workbench right now. They're about half finished. I figured in a couple of days they'll be done. And then I've got some American Rangers in a box that I need to finish. And then I've got some Mamelukes and some Spanish Napoleonics that I have to finish. And some Honved, Hungarian bolt action figures. So basically I've got a few commissions that I just need to knock them out, clear my board. I have more customers asking about doing some KGL for the peninsula. All of that is business, right? That's how I finance these World War II projects, is by doing these commissions. So I'm just backlogged on commissions. I think I can get them all done middle of next month. I think I should have them all cleared out and shipped out, but we'll see. And because of that, I don't think I can honestly, or I should say with a clear conscience, continue to work on my personal projects while I still have these commissions waiting. So you might not see a lot of progress being made in my 15mm World War II project. It's going to come a little slower now because now I'm super close to finishing it. I don't necessarily need to stress over it. I can just take my time now, and in that, by taking my time, I'm going to be able to get onto these commissions. Hopefully that all made sense. All right, I'll see you tomorrow during our Wargaming Wednesday, and you guys have a safe day.